Hello everyone, welcome back to my Additional Max channel. Today, my video teaching is focusing on normal distribution. So I really hope that after you follow my video teaching, you can master the normal distribution. Alright, so let's get started with the class. Have fun! So let's read the question carefully. In a school, 180 students sit for additional mathematics examination. Okay, so the 180 students is actually the sample space. Alright, so the marks obtained is normally distributed with mean 48 marks. Another keyword is normally distributed. Alright, okay, when you read the question, especially the hot question, you highlight the keywords. 48 marks is the mean, okay, mean mark, and the standard deviation of 6 marks. So from this sentence, it actually consists of 4 important keywords. One is 180 students is a sample space, okay? And then normally distributed, we have 2 types of distribution. One is binomial distribution, and another one is normally distribution. So for normally distribution, you have to use a bell shape, you have to use a z-score, alright? So the moment you read the question, you always remind yourself, oh, this is the z-score. I must convert the x to z, then can find the p, right? Okay, so for z-score, we have x minus mean over standard deviation. That is why they give you mean 48 marks and standard deviation 6 marks. Okay, so this question is actually probability normal distribution. Alright, so today my purpose is to make sure you can score full marks for normally distribution. Alright, so how to do is you must keep on practice until you like it. Alright, you have to keep on practice so that you will be expert. So now it's quite simple actually. So I'm going to show you that this normal distribution is actually quite easy, and this topic is nowadays quite important, okay, because it's actually part of the hot question. You need to think how to do. Okay, so after you understand the question, now you have to list down. Example, you write mean, the symbol is mu equal to 48, and standard deviation, it sounds like the words, the symbol like 6, right? Okay, so be careful when you write the standard deviation. So now I'm going to show you how to solve this question, okay, for normally distribution, normal distribution. Alright, now let's see what the question asks. If a student is chosen at random, find the probability that the student obtain between 35 and 66 marks. Hence, find the number of students that obtains marks between 35 and 66 marks. Again, we will highlight, alright, probability. So the question is asking for big P, probability between. So when you see between 35 and 66, how you write between is always continuously. So you must start from the smaller 35, then 66, then you put the inequality sign, right? Okay, later we will write down. Hence, find the number of students that obtain marks between 35 and 66 marks. Now for probability, before you can find the number of students, you must have the probability first. So after you have the probability, then you take the probability value times with the sample space. Remember just now the sample of the student, total student is 180. So you will have to times with the 180 after you got the answer for 30, probability for the students between 35 and 66 marks. Alright, so we'll come back to this, find the number of students marks between 35 and 66 mark later. So beginning we try to understand the question and then make sure we really highlight the keywords before we proceed. Alright, okay, so this is 3 marks. It's actually quite simple. You just convert to the z-score, then you just use your calculator, right? Alright, so for the number 2, students who fail have to attend remedial classes. Okay, if 5% of the students attended remedial classes, find the passing marks for additional mathematics. Okay, so this is the part that I say you are given the probability value, then you are asking to find back the z-score, and then after you get the z-score, then only you can find the x, which is actually the marks for the student passing the additional maths exam. Okay, for normal distribution, actually just want to highlight to you is actually just use a formula, and the question is always come with 2 type. The first type is you must start with the you have to start with the x, then from the x you go to the z, and then from the z you go to the graph, and from the graph you will find the probability for the area of the bell shape, right? You can either use a Bokusif field or you can use your calculator. Alright, I think we prefer to use calculator nowadays, but both way also accepted. Alright, so and then the second part of the question, they always ask you to look from inside of the Bokusif here. You get what I mean? They will give you the probability value, and then after that from the probability value you find the z-score, and from z-score you find back the x, and from the x then that is your answer. So it's just like actually a 2-way. One, you go forward, then you come back, okay, backward. Alright, so I'm going to tell you that this question is very easy to score marks. So let's see how to do. I will show you the step, okay? So but before I discuss, I want you to really understand the question, okay? Make sure you really understand the question, then you do. Okay, read the question many times. Okay, so now if you really understand the question already, then we shall get start to solve the problem now. Okay, so again we have 180 students with a mean 48 marks and standard deviation 6. Alright, so you can jot down, and then we are asking to find the probability, right, for the students marks between a certain range, right? Then after that we are asking to, we are given the 5% of the student who fail the marks, right? Then we are asking to find the marks for the student who fail the maths. Alright, so it seems like you understand the question already. So now we are going to start soon. I will discuss with you all the steps, okay, how to get the right answer. Before that, can you please take out the calculator? Alright, get ready your calculator, and then you try to figure out, okay, how to write down the z-score. Z-score is equal to x minus mean over standard deviation. Okay, understand? So bear in mind that the sample space is 180. Okay, so the question will tell you everything. They will give you the 180 students at the sample space, and they will give you the mean and the standard deviation. Alright, so now we are going to start soon. I'm waiting for you to get ready. So if you are ready, then we will start now. Alright, so let's start. to show the steps to get the answer. Okay, all right. You can jot down the sample space is 180, mean is 48, and then the standard deviation is 6. Okay, so I purposely discuss slowly so that you can pick up. Okay, so write down the mean. Mean is actually the data at the middle of the bell shape, and the mean will divide the bell shape into two equal balanced sides. And then standard deviation is 6 marks. Sometimes they will give you variance. So if you give you variance will be 36. So you have to square root the variance to get your standard deviation. Alright, okay, now let's see the question A again. You're asking to find the probability that students obtain between probability, okay, marks between 35 and 66. Alright, after you find the probability, then you find the number of students that obtain marks between 35 and 66 marks. So for probability, we always have the event A, event B, right? So you can say that the event A here is the number of students. The event A here is the student who obtain marks between 35 and 66 marks. Okay, if a number of event, it become N with a bracket A. Okay, number of event A. Alright, so you always use a symbol when it comes to probability. So when you read the question, you see find the probability, you just label the big P there. Alright, big P. Okay, we have small p and big P. The small p is actually meant for binomial distribution. For normal distribution, we only got big P, right? Okay, then I advise you to always, if they ask you to find P, they always give you the X, okay? So the 35 and 66 is actually the X, alright? So you have to write the X and then follow they will give you the range, either more than, or at least, or at most, or between. That's how you write between. Between, you must put the X at the middle, then more than the smaller one, and then less than the bigger one. That's how you write between. Alright, so between 35 and 66 marks. Okay, so after you write down, then you can actually write in a sentence the P with a bracket 35, okay, and then for the X, and then 66. Okay, so we are going to find this probability for X more than 35 and less than 66. In short, we say between. Okay, between 35 and 66. That is how you write. So for between, we don't have the equal sign. Okay, unless you say from 35 to 66, yes. Okay, between, no. Alright, between, you cannot have the equal sign. That means you cannot take in the 35 and 66. The marks must be 36 onwards. 36, yes. 37, yes. Until 65. Okay, that are the probability for the marks between 35 to 66. Okay, make sure you write the correct inequality. Okay, inequality nowadays looks like very important. Okay, so you have more than, you have less than, you have at least is more than equal, you have at most, which is less than equal, right? Okay, so make sure you think first before you write. Okay, okay, so why they like the inequality nowadays? Because when you write the inequality, actually you have to think how to write, like at least, or is inclusive. Okay, between, no inclusive of the 35 and 66. You are thinking how to write. So that is actually hot question, right? Okay, now we are convert everything to symbol already. Number of students whose mark between 35 and 66 mark. I actually just assign my event A as the student marks between 35 to 66. So I can say the question is asking me to find a number, right? So I will write N, then bracket A. Alright, so that is how you write. Now you see I define the variable. Let the students obtain between 35 and 66 marks as event A. You can always write down, okay? Now you write down on your exercise book. Let A equal to student obtain between 35 and 66 marks. Then only you can find the PA, right? Then you write PA, okay? So that you are aware that what are you doing when you write down in symbol. And easy for you to write the flow of working, right? Okay, now we are going to proceed to the next one. Students who fail have to attend the remedial classes. This is the last part, okay? We'll come back to number 2 later on. Now, as you know, we have the sample space, right? Okay, so number of sample space, yes, is equal to 180, right? So where the moment you see they ask you to find the number of event, you quickly write down this formula. Number of event A over number of sample space is equal to the probability of event A. Actually, this is a mathematics formula. So you must apply here. Additional max, we always use a max basic formula. Okay, that is why the question is asking you to find the number of event A after you obtain the probability value of event A. So you just take the probability of event A times with the 180, alright? Okay, understand? Okay, I want you to really understand, then I will start to do. So you notice that I will go very slow until you really understand. Okay, so now we will solve the second part. Student who fail have to attend the remedial class. This one, actually you have to draw the bell shape first. This is the reverse way of doing. The first part is actually you start from the X, then you go to the Z, then you go to the graph, and then you read the P. And for the second part is you are given 5%. Remember what I say, percentage is actually probability for this question. They can give you either in percentage, or they can give you either in certain number over the total number, up to the question to tell. Normally they give you percentage. They can also give you decimal. Alright? Okay. So for this question, you are given another event. Okay, the event that you can say that, okay, student who fail or student have to attend the remedial class as event B. So the probability for event B, we say, okay, event B probability given 5%. Alright, so we write in a symbol. Okay, then later we will know how to do in working. Okay, for the this is a paper 2, so the working are very important. So we assign, okay, B is student who fail and have to attend remedial class. Okay, you do properly. You define the variable first. Okay, not variable, the property event. You define your event. B is actually student who fail and have to attend the remedial class. Okay, so after that you will write everything in order systematically. Okay, make sure when you do something, you do everything in order systematically. Don't just work out the answer and then and then you think that you can get full marks. No, actually the working is very important. Okay, alright, so today I will teach you how to write properly for paper 2. So for this question, so we have actually defined our event A and event B, right? Event A is a student's mark between 35 to 66. Event B is a student who failed and have to attend the remedial class. Alright? Okay, so now let's get started with how to solve this question. Okay, so I actually take a long winded way to teach you so that you are really with me and can solve the question. Okay, if I go very fast, I feel that it's no point because you can't follow. So I go very, very slow so that you understand and it's meaningful to you and you will like it after this. So after you like it, after you know how to do, you must practice more. Then you will be very expert and you can go very fast. Okay, are you ready? Let's start now. So you will start with the n, 180, mean is 48, and then standard deviation is 6. You list down already. Okay, now I'm going to teach you to write the step properly. Now before that, we have to make sure we list down the x. Okay, and then after we have the x, we have to have the z-score, right? Okay, after we have the z-score, we have to convert to the graph, and then from the graph then we can find the probability, right? Okay, we have written down the x and then followed by, okay, I actually want you to write like this. You can use a table, but I think we don't want to waste time for the table. Then we draw the arrow. Then from the x, you need to convert to z-score. Remember the formula? Okay, z-score is x minus mu over standard deviation. Okay, after we got the z, we have to convert the z into a bell shape. So graph lah we call. So we need to have the graph. Okay, we need to sketch out the bell shape. Many of you think that the bell shape is not important. Actually, the bell shape is a must to sketch, because if you never sketch a bell shape, you will use your imagination. Sometimes, actually, if on paper, we can actually do the imagination carefully. So I actually want you to follow the step here. You start from x, then you convert to z. After you convert to z, you sketch a graph. Okay, after you got the graph, then only you can use either your calculator or you can use the buku sifir to find the answer for probability. Okay, do you know that you have to use the normal distribution table we call as buku sifir? Alright, so you can always use a buku sifir or you can use a distribution table to find the value for the p. Okay, so please jot down the 4 important steps to solve the normal distribution problem. So you can always do this way in exam. Okay, there are 4 steps to follow. Alright, so if they ask you to find the p, start from x. That is the 4 step you must list down. Okay, so then we will fill in accordingly, step by step, from step 1, x, and then to z, and then to the graph, and then to the p. Okay, alright, so are you ready to jot down? You can try to jot down first before I show you the proper step for the next step. Okay, so today I want you to really go step by step with me until you really understand, then you can go fast. So we have listed down the 4 steps. Now we're going to find the probability, right? Okay, so now you write down the x, then you convert to the z carefully. Okay, the probability that you supposed to start beginning is actually probability for the x. Okay, you cannot start with the z first. You must always start with the x first. With the x, then you can get the z. Alright, okay, with the z, then you can get the graph. With the graph, then you can get the probability value. Alright, okay, understand? So the probability value is between 35 and 66. Remember just now? Make sure you use a right inequality symbol. Okay, alright, clear? Everyone can follow? If you cannot follow, then you just put at the comment there. Next time I will teach slow as your wish. Okay, so okay, I have listed down all the 4 important steps. So the next step is I'm going to plug all the value. Okay, let's see how to do the next step. So I'm waiting for you to copy down first before I proceed. Alright, we do slow and steady until you are good, then you can go very fast. Okay, so ready for me to go for the next step? Alright, so after you complete the 4 step, now you try to list down all the important information and try to use a z-score formula. Okay, so let's see how to do for the next step. So are you ready for the next step? Is you write down 35, write down 66, and then you convert to z-score one by one. Okay, so let's try to convert to z-score. Okay, still remember the formula for z-score? Z equal to x minus mean over standard deviation, right? Okay, so now we will continue by convert to z-score. Alright, are you ready to write down the z-score? Z is equal to x is 35, right? We have 2z, right? So we call as z1. So 35 minus the mean is given there and standard deviation also given, right? So we can just convert 35 into z. That means 35 is equivalent to what is the value of z. So we just take 35 minus 48 over 6. Alright, so that is your z1. Okay, you can press your calculator for that value. Is always in 4 significant figure. Okay, you can give in fraction also, no problem. Fraction is better, is more accurate, but because when we want to find from the buku sifil, we always need the 4 significant figure. Okay, if you got calculator, you use a calculator, you got negative 2.168, is it? Okay, it's a negative value. And then you do the same for the 66. So we call as Z2. Alright, so for conversion 66 to z-score, we will use the same formula. So we will write z2 equal to 66 minus 48 over 6. And then you press your calculator again, you get the value for the z-score for conversion 66 to z-score, which is equivalent to also a decimal number, right? So you write your answer in 4 significant figure. Alright, so we have complete the step 2. Alright, step 1 is x, list now. Step 2 is you convert to z-score. Then step 3 is you are going to sketch the curve. Okay, bell-shaped curve. So when you sketch a bell-shaped curve, basically you can draw like this. You can sketch a horizontal line with a nice like bell shape, and the middle one is actually vertical axis is the mean. Okay, the mean, if it is a z-score, it must be 0. Okay, remember what I say. When it is a z-score, the middle line must be 0. It's fixed. Okay, so we have actually label the 0. Okay, negative 2.167 to the left, and label 3 positive to the right. Okay, so that is how you label the bell shape. Remember, negative must be go to the left of the 0, and then positive must be go to the right of the 0. Okay guys, I'm going to teach you how to find the area for the shaded bell shape now. So the shaded region is here because it's between, right, 35 to 66. So how to find the area for this bell shape shaded in red color? So there are 2 ways. So today I will use a calculator. So now let's use a calculator to find the value for the area of the bell shape. The area for the bell shape is representing probability. Okay, so let's get started with the calculator now. So are you ready? Okay, I'm going to teach you how to use calculator. So please on your calculator. Alright, press on. Yeah, you see 0, right? And then you press mode 2 times. 1, 2, and you see SD, right? After you press twice, you'll see SD. So choose 1. Okay, after you choose 1, you will have to press Shift F3. Okay, Shift 3. Alright, you will see P, Q, R, and T. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you? Can you follow? Okay. Cannot follow, is it? Okay, do I need to repeat? Okay, I repeat again. Okay, now listen. On your calculator. Okay, press on now. Alright, you see 0. Okay, now you press, okay, 2 times for mode until you see SD 1. Okay, now you go to, okay, this one, shift 1 and 3. Okay, 1 and 3. Okay, after you press 1 and 3, you will see the screen show you something with P, Q, R, T. Alright. Okay, so now you are ready to key in into your calculator. So you can key in like this. When you have a bell shape at the middle, Q1 and Q2, we have 2 parts actually. So to the left we call as Q1, then to the right we call as Q2. So we need to key in accordingly, follow the calculator. So now you go to the Q number 2. Are you ready? Are you at number 2 now? Okay, you press 2. Alright, okay, now you key in the value that we just found out, right? The Z score, which is, you key in carefully. Alright, okay, now we are going to key in negative 2.167. Alright, then close the bracket. Okay, because we have 2 parts of the Q, right? So we need to plus. So you press plus and then go to the shift 3 and then press 2, which is Q, right? Okay, so are you ready with the Q? Okay, you go to shift 3, then you choose a 2, which is Q. Then you key in 3, right? Okay, then you close the bracket after you key in the 3 and then you press equal. Okay, and I'm sure the calculator will read for you the probability value for the area, right? 0.98353. Are you getting this answer? Okay, I'm sure everyone can do. Okay, all the students getting this answer, 0.98353, right? Okay, good. Now, we actually can use a calculator in exam to find the probability value, or you can use the normal distribution table. So after you got the probability value from the calculator, which is 0.98353, now the question actually want the number, right? So we need to take the number of the sample space times with the 0.98353, and the answer is actually 177, right? Okay, so we have solved the problem. Now let's solve the part 2. Students who fail have to attend remedial classes. If 5% of the students attended remedial classes, find the passing mark for additional mathematics. Okay, now let's get started to solve this backward question. Backward, this is backward. Just now was forward. Okay, let's see how to do. Now we start with the X, followed by Z, and then graph, and then probability, right? Just now? Okay, just now we start from X to Z to graph, then the probability. Now we do the same thing, but our marks now is less than M. Okay, X less than M. So we have 4 items. So, okay, we will start from the right hand side, which is probability. 5% convert to decimal number. Okay, now we move from the right to the left. Okay, okay, we sketch the bell shape. Okay, now we need to label first before we can find the z. Okay, if less than is always to the left. Less left. Less left. So you shift to the left 5% or 0.05. Okay, now we go to the distribution table. Find where is 0.05. Okay, it's here. Can you see that? 0.05? 0.5. There is an extra 0.5. So we have to do adjustment. Okay, we have 0.0505. So now we can read the z-score is 1.64, right? 1.64. But the problem is we have 0.5 at the back. So we don't want the 0.5. So we have to minus out the 0.5, which is equivalent to 5. So our answer, when we minus, we have to plus. So the z-score is 1.645. Can you follow how to read the z-score? Okay, you want me to repeat? I guess no need, right? You can just rewind your video. Okay, so now we have the 5% z-score, which is 1.645. But make sure you check the sign is at the left, right? So you have to put negative. Okay, negative 1.645. Okay, after you got the z-score, you must convert to x. So remember the formula? Z equal to x minus mu over standard deviation. So, okay, negative 1.645 is equal to m is the one that we want to find. Minus mean still 48. Standard deviation is 6. So, standard deviation is 6, right? Okay, now we need to cross multiply carefully. 6 times negative 1.645 plus the 48. Okay, so then we will have the m equivalent to 38.13. So that means the passing mark is 38 marks, right? Okay, can you understand? Alright, I repeat again. So we got negative 1.645 and the z is a negative value because it's to the left. Then after that we have to convert to x-score. Okay, what's the formula for z-score? Equal to x minus mu over standard deviation. Okay, standard deviation is actually given, mean also given. So again, negative 1.645 is equal to m, okay, the one that you want to solve, minus 48 divided by standard deviation, which is 6, right? Okay. Okay, now we can solve the m by cross multiply 6 times negative 1.645 and then plus the 48, right? Okay, there's an answer for the m, which is 38.13. Right, but the marks is always integer, so the passing mark is 38 marks. Okay, all right, I guess that's all my sharing for today. I really hope that my sharing do help you to understand how to solve the normal distribution using calculator. Till then, I shall see you in my next video lesson. Bye bye and have a nice day.